Good morning, everyone. A lot of energy in this room, a lot of energy in this day. Brilliant sun. Couldn't be a more fitting occasion. Mr. Ambassador, our honoree, Pedro Martinez, Carolina and family, and all of our distinguished guests, welcome to this presentation of the portrait of Pedro Martinez that we are inducting into the Smithsonian's National Portrait Gallery collection. The National Portrait Gallery is, in a wonderful way, our nation's Facebook. All right? Think about it. Here we encounter the likenesses of individuals who have shaped American history and identity since colonial times. Here are presidents, poets, actors, activists, educators, scientists, inventors, and athletes. Women and men of greatness. I'm so pleased that this portrait of Pedro Martinez is now part of the National Collection and will be on view for millions of visitors from all over the world. Mr. Martinez, you join more than 50 legendary baseball stars whose achievements, like yours, brought them here. Just think about the fantasy baseball game we could set up here in this building, huh? At an early point in his career, Pedro Martinez was told that he was too small to be a major league power pitcher. Yet, as we've just seen from his first appearance, he consistently overpowered the best hitters in the world. He won 3 Cy Young Awards in a span of 4 seasons. He compiled a record of 219 wins and only 100 losses. In the year 2000, he allowed just 17 home runs in 217 innings pitched. Amazing. Mr. Martinez is also noteworthy for another reason that brings him here, his strong personal commitment to improve the lives of children, both here and in his native Dominican Republic. There are other immigrant success stories on the walls of this portrait gallery, but the people of the Dominican Republic can feel justifiably proud of their gifted and generous native son. I'm pleased to acknowledge this morning the artist, Susan Miller Havens, who has captured such a telling likeness of our honoree. You should know, by the way, that we're lucky to have another portrait by Susan in this museum, which actually pairs up quite nicely with Pedro. So, Pedro, whenever your portrait wants to warm up his arm a little bit, he should head up to the 3rd floor and connect with Susan's painting of Carlton Fisk, okay? He'll catch for you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Susan Miller Havens.
Well, I have 2 questions I'd like to try to answer this morning. The first one is, what is the artist's job anyway? And the second one is, why paint Pedro Martinez? The first question, what is the artist's job? I'd like to remind people about someone by the name of Edgar Degas, who painted about 200 years ago. And he understood the beauty and the athleticism of his subjects, but he also understood a lot about their emotions. His instructions to his students is something that I have on my studio wall, and it simply says, quote, "Art is not what you see, but what you make others see." So this then is the job I have as an artist. Why paint Pedro? There are many people who are wonderful people, who are strong people, who are successful people, but there are a few who are exceptional. I watched Pedro in the park at Fenway when he first came to Boston, met him, spent time with him, talked with him over the years about gardening and about life. But so what? Why paint him? Well, what inspired me to paint him was a balance, which is between his fierceness and his heart. His fierceness as people have noted before, in the face of being told that he was much too small to be a power pitcher, or even how long would he last as a pitcher. His fierceness and determination, I think we have all witnessed. His heart, I saw his devotion to his country, his promise that if he made it to the major leagues, he would build a church where there was none. His embracing our country was unusual. His not being shy to let others see his love of beauty, nature, his heart, his soul, and yes, his moodiness. In this portrait, the viewer, I'm asking you, the viewer, and maybe you'll look later, to wonder, what is he really thinking? Is he thinking about what pitch to throw to the batter? Is he worried about the first baseman, or there may be somebody on second and third? But the focus, the light, is on his hands, and particularly on his long fingers. After all, isn't that not where he got the quote from Joe Torre, who had to explain to his players what was going on? And Joe Torre said, "He's painting the plate, boys." On his sleeve, instead of on any National League patch, I decided to put the Dominican flag. And you can't see them, and I haven't told Pedro this until today, but underneath the mound are rosy pink flowers from the Dominican. So if we had an X-ray, and I have photographs of the earlier part of the painting, you'll see them piled up under the mound. I tried my best to do what Degas told me I was supposed to do as an artist, and what I hope most of all is that you, the viewers, can see in this portrait Pedro Martinez in a way that maybe you haven't seen before. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. We'd like to hire you to give tours on a regular basis here. Absolutely fabulous. Thanks again. And now I would like to ask Peter and Gloria Gammons to come up, if you will, to the stage. For those of you who don't know, Gloria Gammons bought this portrait as a gift for her husband, Peter, several years ago. I know how much they treasure this painting. I also know, as many of us in this room are well aware, that the extraordinary collection of the National Portrait Gallery could not have come together without the generosity of Peter and Gloria and others like them for their willingness to share with the people of the nation extraordinary personalities and extraordinary images. Please welcome Peter and Gloria Gammons.
Hemingway once said that the greatest thing one can say about a man is that he has duende, and defined it as soul, heightened sense of emotional expression, authenticity, and an intrepid heart. Well, as one of the greatest pitchers that ever played baseball, yet a man who has given his life to helping people less fortunate in his country and this country, I can honestly say I will never know a man who has greater duende than Pedro Martinez.
As Peter has reminded us, one of the gifts that Pedro brings to the world is his identity and his leadership as a Dominican. So it is a special privilege for me now to introduce to you and to ask you to welcome the Ambassador of the Dominican Republic, His Excellency, Dr. Roberto P. Sunderland.
Good morning, everybody. Mr. Martin Sullivan, Director of the National Portrait Gallery, Mr. Pedro Martinez, Ms. Carolina Martinez, Pedro Martinez families that are here present, Mrs. Susan Miller Havens, Mr. Peter and Gloria Gammons, Don Juan Marichal, the only Dominican in the Hall of Fame of Coppertown, member of the Dominican Republic Embassy and the mission to the OAS of our country, distinguished public and dear friends. On behalf of the President of the Dominican Republic, Dr. Leonel Fernandez Reina, it is a great honor to the Embassy of the Dominican Republic to congratulate Mr. Pedro Martinez, a world-famous baseball player, on the occasion of his portrait presentations in the Smithsonian National Portrait Gallery, to recognize his remarkable career as one of the best pitchers in the baseball history. Thanks to the National Portrait Gallery to have on your prestigious walls the portrait of one of the baseball players as Mr. Martinez, who, as a professional pitcher and baseball player, is beloved by the American and the Dominican people, fans, and in other countries. Thanks to Susan Miller Havens to catch in the portrait of Pedro Martinez the character, the strengths, the spirit, and the speed of a man who, on the Montecore, demonstrated that he is an artist with his arm. Thanks to Mr. Peter Gammon, who made possible, and Gloria Gammon, who made possible the donation of this artistic portrait of Pedro Martinez to the National Portrait Gallery of the Smithsonian Institution. The Dominican people, our baseball fans, every Dominican is very proud of somebody like Pedro Martinez, a Major League Baseball pitcher, not only because he is an 8-time All-Stars, 3-time Cy Young Award winner, and 2004 World Series champion, or a more than 200-game winner, but a man who has time for humanitarian labor together with his wife, Carolina Martinez, in favor of the childhood of Manuel Guayabo in Dominican Republic. Allow me in these short remarks to thank all the personalities and public presence in this memorable occasion, especially those who are tied to the baseball players, because baseball is not only our national sport in the Dominican Republic, but in Latin America, in the Caribbean, an inspiration for our children, and certainly Pedro Martinez as an icon and role model for our young generations, and this portrait exhibited today will trigger certainly new vocations to become baseball players. Let me just say a few more words. For the Dominican Republic, Mr. Sullivan, baseball is something that is ingrained in the soul of the country, because every year the Dominicans know that in October, September, October, our baseball players, not only those who are in the country, but those who are in the National and American League, will be coming to our country, and from October to February, we will enjoy the season really that every Dominican boy and girl really waits. Thank you very much for the National Portrait Gallery. Thank you to you all for sharing this moment that is so important for the Dominican Republic, and certainly President Fernandez, who has been really, as he said in New York last September, in a speech at the Museo del Barrio, that one of his dreams was to be a baseball player. Well, we have today a president, a role model president for the Dominican generations, and certainly baseball will continue to be the national sport. Thank you very much to you all. God bless Pedro Martinez, his wife, and his family for the example he's giving to our nation. Thank you very much.
We're privileged to hear your thoughts, Mr. Ambassador, and graced by your presence with us this morning. It's time for the main man. Who needs no introduction? He's identified the program, if you look at it, as sitter. And I don't think of Pedro Martinez as sitting much. But that's what we talk about in portraiture. Anyway, he's our focus. He is the person whom we're here to celebrate, and here he is, Pedro Martinez.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ooh, this is a tough one. First of all, it's good morning to everybody. I'd like to, first of all, I guess, ask for a blessing for every one of you and everyone watching and everyone expecting. I would like to, first of all, thank God for this opportunity. Thank everything and everybody that had anything to see with my career, my success, and actually my life. I would like to recognize my mother, my father that's now in heaven watching from above, and the many people that did something positive to have me here and representing so many things, so many reasons, so many aspects of life. I'd like to thank everybody here at the Smithsonian. Mr. Sullivan, thank you so much for receiving Susan Creative Art, my friend Zeus. I love you. I don't get tired of saying that. But I guess you have to really dig deep to find out why I say it so many times, I love you. And Susan, you did a great painting, and I'm extremely proud of you, but at the same time, I'm equally as proud to be the one you painted. And I cannot really express with words how much joy I feel right now. I've been in tough games, really, really tough games, but never felt this much emotions in any of the games as I'm feeling right now. I'm not a person that will probably get nervous or anything, but I'm a little shaking. And it's all because of what I think I'm representing here, and what everybody has done to put me here. I would like to thank every fan that's out there that inspired me to continue, that inspired me to have the eager to compete as an athlete. I would like to thank everybody in baseball that somehow helped me made it through. There are some people here that I can probably mention from my first year in baseball, from the first moment when they opened the door for me. If I start mentioning names, I know it's probably going to get too long, but I must mention some people. I must say, Rafael Avila, you opened the door because you you deposited a little seed of faith in what I could do. I will have to say, my brother Ramon, you were my inspiration. Dave, people in baseball, Don Juan, you were my idol. When I saw all those numbers in just barely 16 years in the big leagues, really impressed me. You really impressed me. And, you know, my family for supporting everything I did and everything I'm doing right now. My cousins, Angel, my sisters, my kids. I don't have enough words to say, you know, how much I appreciate everything you've done. I'm sorry. Sorry, Sus. I didn't know this was going to happen, but it happened. And that's part of the game, too, huh? My beautiful wife, Carolina, who has done so much to make this possible. All my friends that are here, everybody that I know around baseball are wishing me well. All of my teammates that yesterday made me so happy. I must say that I'm keeping that video because every time I look at them, even if I don't throw a ball anymore, they will always be in my life, and they will be part of my life, my career, and everything I do. Some of the members of my family that are not here and that probably couldn't make it today to this act, I just want to tell them I love them, and I'm really proud. And also for the people back home that never gave up on pushing me forward and giving me strength to continue on. To all those fans around the world that are watching me, not only in baseball, but in the things that I'm about to do, in the next step I take. I'm extremely proud. I'm extremely happy. I thank you all. I thank God, specifically, my dad from above. This goes to you, goes to the people in my country that are so proud of me, that they can't hold it in. They have to yell, Pedro, everywhere I go. I'm extremely proud and happy to be inducted in this beautiful museum. My boy, when he first got in, the first words were like, oh my God, this is beautiful. I said, do you like museums? Well, this is beautiful. Pedro, Isaías, and Jerito that are here. Enjoy it, and thank you all so much, Susan. Not enough words to say. You are beautiful, and your art is even prettier. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.
We're going to take just one more minute. First of all, I want to thank my good coworkers and colleagues at the National Portrait Gallery. There are a lot of you here who all contributed to enabling the portrait to come into our permanent collection, enabling this morning to happen, and who will continue to care for and love the painting, which is our new gift. But I'm going to ask Pedro Martinez, if he will, to just briefly walk with me over to the portrait so that we can present it to the American people. Okay. We are also thinking about how spectacular this painting will be, both as an addition to the fine art that's in this building, but also as an inspiration to all the young people who are going to be coming here for many years in the future. Pedro, thank you so much. Thank you. good-sized fan club here. I want to invite everyone to go back up to the main level into the Kogod courtyard where we have a continental breakfast awaiting you. And thank you again so much for being here this morning to share a special moment with us all. Thank you.